Hello and welcome to everyone listening. I'm Miranda, I'm a marketing associate here at Ocula, and I'm really excited to be here today to chat with Richard Voyce, who is the digital director at the Conran Shop. In the next 10 to 15 minutes or so, we'll be talking about the Conran Shop's e-commerce challenges, their customer expectations, and what led them to consider AI copywriting. But first, maybe if you could introduce yourself, Richard, and share a little bit about what makes the Conran Shop so special.
Yep. So my role in the Conran Shop is I am digital director. I sort of wear quite a few different hats in the business. Essentially, I look after e-commerce. I'm also a kind of technical director, so I own platforms, whether that's ERP or our commerce platform, which is Shopify Plus, as well as all the other sort of technology stack that goes with it. They also look after the digital side of the business, so not only e-com but digital marketing. So quite a varied role amongst the business. So that's me. In terms of the Conran Shop, we're a heritage UK brand with over 50 years trading. Our founder, Sir Terence Conran, he set up Conran Shop, which was essentially to pull together a curation of some of the amazing designs and finds that he found whilst traveling the world and brought them back into Great Britain. And we spent many years being effectively like a department store with departments ranging from lighting, homeware, furniture, gifting, kitchen and dining accessories, that kind of thing. More recently, we've kind of repositioned the business and we set ourselves up as a brand in our own right. So we no longer sell third-party supplier products. All the product we sell is the Conran Shop TCS product. It's designed in the UK by our own team, and we sell it through our website and through our store in London in Sloane Square. So our big focus in terms of product now has shifted. It's a slightly narrower assortment, but a very much curated and considered assortment of really nice products that are sustainable, ethically sourced, beautifully designed, lovingly created by artisans. So hopefully that gives you a good feel for the background of the company and where we're sort of going directionally.
Yeah, I think that's a really clear overview. And how many products would you say there are roughly now?
Assortment wise, I think we've got sort of a few thousand, so certainly not as massive as we once were, but still relatively large number, which means that for a small team, it's quite a challenge to keep on top of those.
Absolutely. And you say it's quite difficult to keep on top of all those product pages. So maybe let's talk about how you really define a successful product page for the Conran Shop. What specifically is most important to get right and keep on top of, and why?
Well, yeah, because our products are considered a more sort of higher value, they're not day-to-day purchases. They do need a lot of thought and care to convey what they are to our customers. So we spend a lot of time finessing the content that we have on our product pages, whether that's through the user experience or through the creative. So, for example, making sure that we've got really good CGI of our sofa ranges, and you can get into the detail of that. For other products, we have invested a lot in our photography. So we've gone to great pains to shoot them beautifully and make them look beautiful. Then you get into the description and the text amongst the products. So we've had copywriters in the past. We had quite a lengthy process of writing copy for our products, but we've downsized the business quite significantly to the point where actually we no longer have copywriters in the team, and we've kind of picked it up within the remaining creative team.
And what was most important for your creative team to get across in that copywriting?
I guess there's the two aspects to that is the storytelling of the product, but also making sure that factually the detail is correct.
Mm-hmm.
That could be obviously really important when it's heavy, large pieces of furniture, and making sure we're absolutely accurate with that. But also with a high consideration piece, or just a piece that's got a real story to tell. It's making sure that we convey that, because comparatively, one of our vases versus something you could buy in a supermarket, there's a big difference. The way that it's been designed and handmade by an artisan, and that whole story when it's both in our copy and in our creative. So that's a big shift for us, really, is looking to achieve all that, but also do it in an efficient way with less resource.
So it sounds like it's been a really big challenge to balance a limited team on one hand with still achieving that one of a kind kind of unique feel in the copywriting.
Yeah, it is a challenge. It's probably more of a challenge because we've got products that have been in the set for, some time, really. So it's kind of going back and correcting products that may have been written, a year, 2, 3 years ago. And also, I guess, where we've used individuals in the past to write copy, there's a bit of an inconsistency in the tone of voice. I guess one of the challenges that we were looking to address is trying to get back to a point where it does feel like a consistent experience as you explore our product ranges. That was key to us, particularly with this engagement, of looking to set a tone of voice that we felt was right for the business, for the brand. We want to inject some of our personality, but we don't want to over-egg it. It felt that sometimes in our previous copywriting, we'd just gone over the top in describing things, that when you looked at what it was describing, it just felt like the balance isn't right. And also it felt quite repetitive that we were constantly using the same kind of language, about elevating your room set. It just felt like it was getting quite tired. And so we wanted to try and establish a tone of voice that had personality, was authoritative and factual and relatively concise, so customers can quickly and easily understand what it is that they're reading in terms of what the product is.
I mean, you've kind of touched on why it was that you felt an AI copywriter could be really, really helpful in solving some of these challenges in terms of keeping a consistent tone of voice, in terms of minimizing the repetitive feel from those same old words cropping up in your product copy again and again. But I guess even guessing to that point of considering an AI copywriter could be quite a big step for some e-commerce teams. So my question really is, what made you at the Conran Shop really open to considering an AI copywriter in the first place?
I think we've basically been looking for a solution off the back of the fact that we just were struggling with time and resource, really. We just have a small creative team, but that creative team are spread quite widely across the whole range of different things, as you might imagine, whether they're creating advertising or packaging, in-store screens, online experiences, emails. The guys are doing it all, right? And amongst that, they're also trying to write copy for new product releases. So not a particularly sustainable solution. But what we have done is made some great strides in our most recent product launches. We'd invested a lot of time in the creative and the words. So it felt like we'd set the bar and we'd set a standard. So if we could then train AI to recognize what best looks like for us based on best-in-class products that we put together, then could we then use that to go back in the past at all of our other products that, as I described earlier on, had inconsistencies and challenges in them, to improve them and bring them back to the standard of our most recent products that we've launched.
100%. I mean, it's such an incredibly exciting time that we're at a point when all the creative strategy, the creative constraints can all be set by humans. But then all that kind of manual burden of writing product content against those constraints can effectively be shouldered by the AI tools. I mean, what will that mean for the Conran Shop going forwards and the way your current processes work, do you think?
I think it will help us to improve our time to market, so being able to launch products at a faster rate with confidence. I'd like to think that a big benefit will also be within the SEO side of it, which we've not really touched on, but we have sort of neglected SEO, certainly within our descriptions. So I think there's a great benefit for it there, particularly around some of the metadata, keywords, etc. So that's something that I think is going to be a real benefit to us if we see that we get an uplift. Consistency, I think, is probably the big benefit for us. Starting to feel that there's a better sense of brand when you're navigating and exploring products with us, that it all starts to feel like it's part of the experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at Ocula, we see such a huge impact for teams, like you say, in terms of team efficiency, in terms of SEO, kind of all as a result of having that consistent, accurate, brand aligned AI copy that's generated in bulk. And then at the same time, that of course comes hand in hand with big benefits to conversion uplift and traffic uplift as well, too, right? Just looking at the time though now, I think we've just got time for one final question. And for this one, I sort of wanted to ask you for your broader perspective about AI in e-commerce and kind of what's coming next. What would you predict for the future of AI in e-commerce? Where could it add value beyond product descriptions, thinking more broadly?
For me, a big benefit is just asking AI to create reports, do jobs, do things, and taking out some of the sort of the manual lifting that comes with running e-com operations. So I can see AI replacing a lot of the more routine sort of tasks and just getting it to do things that otherwise a merchandiser might do. Or personally, while I can see it working really well for some companies, I think that we'll probably continue to utilize our own in-house photography. And I think that probably sets us apart. But, we'll see how that develops. Maybe it will get to the point where we can create amazing branded experiences that align with all of our branding principles. I think from a customer perspective, probably just changing the way that you shop. I'm just asking for things rather than having to search and filter. I think it's going to be a lot more conversational. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it feels very much like a watch this space, doesn't it? Because while a lot's happened in AI and e-commerce already, there's so much more to come. And I'd say that kind of more or less wraps things up quite neatly for today. So I just want to say thank you so much for your time, Richard, and for your insights into why AI copy feels right for the Conran Shop. And thank you, if you're listening, for listening in.